The tongue works like a valve, which lets the air into the instrument. The basic position of the tongue in the mouth is similar like the pronunciation of the consonant T. Let us try one thing. Let's stick the tongue out slightly and pronounce T with your tongue protruding. Then we place the tongue behind the upper teeth where the teeth meet the palate and pronounce the T's. Then we place the tongue on the hard palate and pronounce the T's. Let's try it with me. In the beginning, the tongue will protrude, and then it will gradually withdraw backwards over the upper teeth to the palate. We now hear it sound more like D when the tongue is backward on the palate, and we see and hear how we can pronounce T in different ways. We don't activate our vocal cords so that it does sound like... And now I am finally getting to the point which I wish to make to you. When we place the tongue out slightly, we can attack the low tones well. So the low tone is easier to attack with the tongue slightly forward. It relates to the bigger aperture or opening between our lips. If we wish to speak the higher tones, we can do it only with the tongue behind the upper teeth, or else we couldn't attack the tone properly. This is what we have to have in our minds. Let's try to do it now on the mouthpiece. We'll play some low tone. And now we try to play some high tone, and notice what happens if we place the tongue between the teeth like you did for the low tone. You will never succeed to play the higher tone from its beginning. The tone starts lower than you would like it to be. You must have your tongue behind the upper teeth. The best and most natural way to handle your tongue while playing is to regularly blow the air out and to interrupt the airstream with the tongue. Perhaps we can explain it to you this way. You are blowing the air out, and then suddenly you lean your tongue against the upper teeth. It looks like this. The air would like to go out, but it cannot because the tongue restricts it. When you put the tongue out, the air will go out again. Come on and try it. When the student can't accomplish this, we say to him, the tongue only pats the teeth. It will be there only for a short while, like a fraction of a second. When the student has perceived this idea, then we can move on to applying this technique on some middle range notes. For example, F of the fourth line. A great exercise for practicing tonguing is in the middle range again. It starts on B flat above the fifth line. You play 16th notes and then proceed down by half steps. This exercise will be shown to you by Hunza Bittner. In this exercise, the student strives to articulate all the tones the same way and to have them with the same sound. Pay attention also that all the short tones have the same attack and the same color like the long one at the end. If the student can't achieve this, do not play the whole exercise, but rather just as one tone at a time and gradually make it better. A frequent error is that when the student descends down the scale and does not relax sufficiently his embouchure, then the tones start to go flat and the color of the sound is lost. If the tongue speed is not fast enough, we employ the so-called double or triple tongue. We interchange the pronunciation of the consonants T and K so it looks something like this. We can try it in the same exercise like it was the first one for the single tongue. In the beginning, we practice the exercise in slow tempo, and we try to make the sound of the pronunciation of the T and the K the same. The triplets we pronounce. Here is a little exercise. Okay, take it again from that E flat, third position. Play it on the B flat once more. Okay, try to attack all the B flats nicely. Okay. In the next exercise, we try to articulate the double tongue and simultaneously move the slide. Once more. The softer version of this is, in triplets, it is. Many players think that this technique is useful only for playing jazz. I used it, for example, in the fast passage of the fourth movement of Tellman's sonata. The next technique used often by jazz players is called the doodle tongue because we pronounce. Let us notice that we don't completely interrupt the airstream. While we pronounce do, we have the top of the tongue on the palate, but the air flowing along the sides of the tongue. The next tone we pronounce when we glue off the tip of the tongue. This technique is called the flutter tongue. We pronounce the T-R as we pronounce